Hey guys, I am back with our next video. I am Dr. Hannah Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Tonight we're going to talk about the best office chair for back pain. So with people working from home, this is getting asked a lot. What chair do I buy? Where do I get it from? Do you recommend any specific brands? And here's the thing, honestly, there's not one chair out there that fits everyone. So tonight I'm going to show you what to look for. There are brands that are better. Obviously a Herman Miller chair is better than my office chair, which is just this. This is a Staples special, and I'm going to go through why this is good, bad, and ugly, and how we can make all these different ones work. But honestly, is it worth spending if you have the money? Sure. What makes that chair so good is the amount of parts that are adjustable. So it is a highly adjustable chair. It can be very confusing for people. So you have to be careful when you go and you purchase a very high-end chair, because a lot of people have this incredible chair and don't do anything with it. So let me point out to you features that you need. So honestly, it doesn't matter what chair you have. It really doesn't. I mean, do I recommend a stiff back kitchen chair if you're going to be sitting in a chair for a long period of time? No, I really don't. But can you make it work? Absolutely. So the main thing that you actually really want to make sure that you have is an adjustable height. So this one has an adjustable height, and I'm not going to mess with it because I have it set to where I need it to be. But you want to make sure you can go up or down on your chair. All right, so they made some really terrible office chairs like a while back where there was a more flexible back where you could push back and that actually and the back moved. You don't want that. If you have another knob, which I don't have, but if you have another lever that actually will allow you to lock it into place, then that's totally fine. But you don't want a back that springs. You don't want to be rocking back and pushing back and having it spring. You want to be able to set this and for it to be stationary. Okay, so the first thing is you want to get your legs straight. You want to get your legs to where they need to be. So here's how your legs should be, flat on the floor. All right, they should be slightly below hip level, so you don't want them up here. So my leg height is perfect right now. And I promise you, this is a cheap chair from Staples, and I'm not paid to endorse Staples by any means, but I don't sit in my chair for long periods of time, truth be told, so this is not like a huge deal. I am up and down, but it is set for me. So you want to make sure that your feet are flat on the floor and that your hips are below. Now let's say you have no chair that is adjustable. You can't get one or whatever. So what you can do is you can put a pillow underneath your butt to raise your hips, so that way the angle of your hip is beyond 90. So if this is 90 degrees, you want that angle down here. You also want your feet flat on the floor. Yes, you can cross them. Yes, you can do certain things with them, which is okay, but ideally you want them flat on the floor. Again, if you don't have the ability to adjust your chair up and down, get a phone book. I don't know if they have them anymore, but get something, a couple books just to stick under your chair. So stick under your feet, so you're able to have that surface underneath your feet. You can sit up here. It doesn't honestly matter. Ideally, in a day, you're not sitting still. You're not sitting in a position for 6 hours like this. The best thing to do is have a sit-to-stand desk. If that's not an option for you, then you're going to need to position yourself where you're able to move on in all different areas. So you ideally want to have a chair that you're able to scoot forward on, because this is where you should spend part of your day. You want to scoot to the edge of the chair and you want to drop one leg down. This is going to pull your pelvis forward so you're sitting up. If your chair height is correct, you're going to be able just to easily slide up and sit in this position. Doesn't matter which leg is dropped. But this actually, there's no real work involved because your leg drops, it actually pulls your pelvis forward, so you don't have to worry about sitting up straight. This leg drop is going to do the work for you. But again, you need that height set at correct height in order to be able to do that. And I brought out one of our really terrible chairs here, so to show you that you can do this setup from anywhere. So if you're here, this one happens actually to be pretty good for my legs too. This is where you want to be. Here's your 90 degrees. All right, so this is where your legs are, and you want to be feet flat. So that way when you come forward and you're spending some time in this upright position, that you're able to do it appropriately. Again, this is not requiring any work from me, so if you feel exhausted sitting in this position, you're working too hard. Just let your leg drop. Let your pelvis come forward. All right, so we just went over the legs. Now that you got your legs in order, you want to get your back situated. All right, so I will, truth be told, this is a terrible chair for my back. I don't sit here long enough to care, but it is not advised for your back. So what you want to do is you want to have some sort of roll behind your back to support it. Now, this chair was designed with like a roll in it already, kind of. Terrible idea, all right? Because then what's going to happen is you're winding up arching your back in order to reach the back of your chair. You want your shoulders to be able to rest on the back of your chair. All right, you don't want to be sitting up like this because first of all, you're not going to do it for very long. This is going to be extremely tiresome. You're going to wind up doing this. You're going to wind up with headaches. You're going to wind up with stabbing pains in your back. So when you go and you find a chair, again, any chair will work, but you want to find a chair that is high, as high as you can get it. Headrests are fine. You just have to be careful because a lot of times headrests can push you forward and then you wind up like this. But you want to have some sort of back support. Now, this is how your back should be. It's sort of on a slant if you notice backwards, okay? And that's okay. The only real problem with this chair is I'm missing a little bit of lumbar support. My back is getting tired because I'm trying to lean up against, or I'm pushing my shoulders up against the back of the chair, but there's no real support here. That can be solved with a towel. Just roll a little towel up and put it right behind your back. Just make sure that towel is thick enough so that it gives you good support and you're here. Now you don't want to push it all the way up here, but you want to make sure you have a nice towel, something to hold your back in position. If you have an extremely expensive chair, you might have a knob on the back where you can actually turn this lumbar part out and it pushes you up. Be careful though because that lumbar adjustment may not be in the correct position. It may be too far up and you might be pushing your rib cage up, or it might be too far down and you're pushing your butt up. Either way, avoid that, okay? You want to go right here in that little curve of your back. They make lumbar rolls. If you want to buy one of those, honestly, I just buy a pillow or I just take a towel and roll it up. It's easier that way, but you can, and then you can actually take that to the chair when you find a good position. So that way you can either hold it, that way it'll hold it there. I recommend not necessarily doing that, just so you can adjust it throughout the day. But you want your back to be supported, okay? So you're able to sit. This is a fairly comfortable position. If I had a lumbar roll, I would not feel like I'm doing any work whatsoever. So there's the two important parts when it comes to necessarily the features on the chair. Now we're going to get to your arms. So these arms are terrible. I know I'm showing you like this chair, but I'm showing you this chair because everyone wants to buy the chair that's going to be the end-all be-all. And if you buy a really expensive chair and you don't know how to set up, it doesn't matter. You're going to be sitting in the wrong position with the same exact back pain. There is no chair that will be sent to your house that says, relieves all back pain, just sit in it for 5 minutes. You have to make all sorts of adjustments in order to do it. So I'm showing you this with a not-so-good chair that doesn't have a ton of adjustments, that I use every day, that can be easily used for a very good office chair. You just have to make some adjustments, just like any other chair. All right, so now we're going to move to our arms. So this does not have any movable arms, which I don't agree with. But again, you can spend a little more money than I did. What you want to do is you want to roll your shoulders up, back, and drop them down. Okay? And position yourself against the back of the chair. You want to bring your arms to 90 degrees and your hands to 90 degrees. Now, you've got to configure your keyboard and your mouse to fit this position. The best chairs will have movable arms, so you're able to bring them in so you can rest your arms right here. What you don't want to do is bring them up here like my chair I have to do. What does that do? It causes you to shrug your shoulders, and it will cause you to have a headache by the end of the day. Numbness and tingling in your fingers, if you have it, that's what it's from. So this is not where you want to be, because notice my shoulders are up here. You want your shoulders to be relaxed. So most oftentimes that's going to require some sort of keyboard tray, some sort of keyboard attachment. Again, you are not going to buy one chair that's just going to be like, oh yes, here's everything you need, and here's how your keyboard's going to adjust. You need to buy an adjustable keyboard that's going to be able to slide out so you're here. This is where you want to be. Elbows at 90. If you have the ability to raise and lower your arms and bring them in and out, which are some of the more expensive chairs do, then do that, okay? So you're resting here. If you don't, then you're here anyway. This is where you want to be. You want to make sure that you bring your keyboard to you. If you're like, oh, I'm just going to move everything so that I'll just hold it like this, here's how you're going to be by the end of the day. Your back's going to hurt because then you're going to start hunching forward, trying to get your arms a little bit of a break. Your arms need something to rest on. This is where this chair fails miserably. All right, so whether you put a piece of cut foam in here, whether you have a chair with adjustable arms that go up and down and in and out, either way, you want something here. This could be as easy as putting a pillow on your lap so that your arms just rest here, or putting a pillow underneath each arm so your arms rest here. Whichever way it is, this is where you want to be. Back resting up against the top of the chair, arms are here. If you move your keyboard out here, if you move your mouse out here, here's where you're going to wind up by the end of the day. Here's where you're going to wind up at the end of the day. And that's why you're going to be going online saying, what is the best office chair for back pain? No chair will fix the fact if you're like this. There is no chair out there, so don't waste your money. So we're here, and we're here. We want to make sure our wrists are in neutral. You want to make sure your mouse is as close as it can be by a little mouse attachment, either for the chair or for the keyboard. The ideal situation, again, is that you are doing a sit-to-stand desk. Same thing with your position with your hands in a sit-to-stand desk. All right? Now, we went over shoulders, we went over legs, we went over arms. Now, the only last thing we really want to talk about is our neck. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're not like this. So you want to sit up, roll your shoulders up, back, and drop them down, and you want to jut your neck all the way forward, pull your neck all the way back, and then find the middle spot, and that's where you want to hold it. This comes into play when you've got 2 and 3 monitors in front of you, or you're trying to work from a laptop. If you're going to work from a laptop, you either need a detached keyboard or a detached monitor. You cannot be in correct position without it. Period. The end. So you either get another keyboard or you get another monitor. Otherwise, don't waste your money on a chair. There's no chair out there that's going to fix poor posture when you're like this and you're down here looking at your monitor. Okay? So you've either got to get a monitor that comes up to here. So your monitor should be at the top of your eyes. Now, if you've got 2 monitors, you want to make sure they are like as close together as you can, so you're doing very little head movement. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be in a position like this all day, or a position like this all day, where your neck is continuously turned. Even worse if you've got a laptop and you're turned like this. You're going to cause yourself severe neck and upper back problems. So if you're working off of several monitors, so you have 3 monitors, there should be 1 right in front of you and 2 off to the side, where again, you can turn and work off of either one of them, or just move your eyes. Doing this for hours at a time is going to cause headaches. It's going to cause numbness and tingling. It's going to cause stabbing pain in your shoulders. So this is where you want to be. And again, if you were to sit forward, you can scoot your chair back, and you're still here. But you're allowing your back to get some rest. Then you can stand up. You're moving every 15 to 30 minutes. I know that sounds like a lot. Set a timer until you get used to that pattern. Don't zone out. There's no chair in the world that's going to fix back pain if you just sit there for 8 hours. It's just not going to happen. So those are really the main spots that you want to look for when you're searching for a chair. You want to see that your hips are below that 90-degree angle. You want to make sure your feet are flat on the floor. You want to make sure your arms are 90 degrees. You have some sort of arm support. These are stationary, not so good. You want to make sure that your upper back is supported and you have some support for your lower back, but nothing that pushes you forward. It can be done with any office chair. The more expensive ones, what you want to look for is you want to look for the most adjustable parts. But you better know how to adjust those parts when they get to your house. Otherwise, the chair is useless. So don't think it's showing up fit for you. Just had a question, what happens when you're over 6 feet? Same thing. You've got to find that chair that's adjustable for you. You've got to find the higher back that's adjustable for you. Most chairs will go up and down high enough to accommodate legs that are for larger men and larger women who have those long legs that need some more. But any chair can be set up to do that. It just takes a little bit more effort sometimes to find everything that you need to set up. But you don't have to worry about running out and buying an expensive chair because it's not showing up exactly how it needs to be fit to you anyway. You're still going to have the back pain unless you know exactly how to set it up for your body and for how you sit and everything else. If you are experiencing pain and want a free consultation or to be shown how to set up your desk chair, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898 and we'd be happy to get you in. Thanks and have a good night.